Hey guys, welcome to another video, and this video is going to be about the same topic we just talked about, which is Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. Surprisingly, after I uploaded that video talking about all the updates and everything that we know so far about this new attraction, believe it or not, more information came out and more previews and more screenshots and more video, and I'm really excited to watch it. I haven't watched it yet, so I'm gonna actually say my reaction for this, but I'm gonna put it up on the screen just like previously, but I'm actually gonna switch things around. I'm gonna put a full screen of the actual video and then a small reaction box for me so you guys can see more of the video itself. So let's go ahead and pop that up on the screen now, and I think we're good to go. So let's go ahead and get this played.
Howdy, beautiful day for a picnic.
Yep, we're off to the park.
See you all there.
Allá está, míralo.
Welcome aboard, folks. We're ready for a relaxing ride around the park.
Hiya, folks. Hello there. How you doing?
Hey, Mick and Minnie.
Sure you take good care of our friends.
Watch, there's rain. What could possibly go wrong?
Not a chance. Stampede. They're running good.
Hooray, hooray! Step right up, ladies and gentlemen. Boys and girls.
There they are. We'll be right back.
Well, that concludes my guided tour. Hope you had a relaxing ride around the park.
Nothing can stop us now. I am so proud that we would finally make it. We've had
Wow, that looks awesome. So now that we actually are able to see a little bit more of the physical ride, that got me more hyped than I expected. I am so looking forward to this, either when I go to Florida or when it actually comes to Disneyland in 2022. That looks incredible. I hope just my reaction from what you guys saw really explained how I felt watching that, because that looks so cool. I love how bright it is. Just like I talked in the video previously, the black lights and the lighting in this ride looks fantastic. I love how bright everything is, so you're not really squinting and trying to figure out where things are or what they look like. You can actually just look at them regularly and you can see how cool these things are. So let's go ahead and start the video over and we'll go ahead and break it down scene by scene and just take a look at what they have. So the first thing that we see, of course, is the pre-show, which is actually really nice. I've noticed that the pre-show is something that's kind of become normal now. So they have the pre-show at Galaxy's Edge for all of the Rise of the Resistance stuff. They have the pre-show at the Smuggler's Run attraction, and now they technically have a pre-show for this attraction. I think it's really nice. It's got a real catchy song. I can see just by the family's reactions, looks like everybody's enjoying it. And then of course, once the whole Goofy introduction starts, that's when you kind of get a sense of where this ride is taking you. On the next scene, of course, you get to see the actual train and the whole locomotive, the whole seating area, the whole actual piece where you'll be in part of the ride. Now that I actually see it from the front, I can see that there is a piece of the train, like the engine, because if you watch the other videos, you couldn't really see that in the previous clips. But now you get to see the full thing. You get to see exactly how the layout is for the seats and everything. The next scene we see is the train pulling into the room that's very, very lit up with all the black lights, where you get to see all the green hills. There's a very cool looking fountain that I actually didn't realize that was not part of the backdrop. It's an actual like fountain with effects, making it look like the water spouting out. And from the previous video, we kind of went over this. We saw Mickey and Minnie in the background, and then at one point the Dapper Dan show up. So not only do you get to see that little bird that we talked about, but there's also a close-up of the sun, which is really, really cool. Next scene we get to is the part where we actually get through the tunnel and we get to see Goofy. So we saw this in the previous video. Goofy introduces himself to us. Mickey and Minnie pull up in their car right next to him, and basically Goofy provides us with his famous words, "What could possibly go wrong?" The next scene is completely brand new, which looks absolutely incredible. It's a Wild Wild West style scene where you're kind of like in the Grand Canyon. There's a lot of rocks, there's chasms, there's cactuses. Mickey and Minnie are riding horses. They've got lassos, so they're really going with that whole Western feel with the lassos and the horses. What's really great about that scene too is you kind of get an idea of the whole trackless ride. You aren't actually on a track for this, so it's going to be very smooth movements, unless it's going to be the jerky part of the movement, which is actually part of the ride, which I think in part of the scene you can see that. The next scene probably is going to be my favorite scene so far. It's a completely lit up carnival. And I just love the colors that are shown on this because everything is so well lit with all the black lights. I love the characters that make their appearance. There's Donald, Horace, Pluto, Huey, Dewey, and Louie, and then of course Mickey and Minnie are there too. There's a couple of characters I don't recognize, that maybe they're from the show, but they come out so quickly it's kind of hard to tell who they are. But regardless, that part of the ride looks beautiful and I cannot wait to see it in person. Next up is a very, very cool scene where you're actually shown that you're in a river and you're going towards a waterfall. Mickey and Minnie are trying to paddle their way towards you in the car, and then all of a sudden it goes over the actual waterfall itself. The effect on that looks really, really cool because it makes it look like you're actually going over the edge, but of course it is a simulation, so you're not physically going anywhere. It's probably gonna make a lot of kids believe that they're going over a waterfall, and the effect on that is great. The next scene that we see is an underwater scene with plenty of fish around. There's some rocks, there's some coral, there's a giant octopus playing a trumpet, which I don't know if there's like a significance to that or not, but I mean, it's a Mickey Mouse cartoon, right? From the underwater section, you move to, I guess, the sewers. That's what it's looking like. You move through the sewers, and from what I understand, it's probably pushing you out of the sewer and the water area to somewhere new. The next spot that you go to is the city, and from the looks of this is probably gonna be another great spot for a lot of cool things to see. There's a lot going on, so I'm pretty sure it's easy to miss a lot of details in there, but we'll go ahead and we'll show you what we can find. The main thing that you see when you come into the city is there is somebody using a jackhammer, and as they're rattling the ground, they're also rattling the buildings behind him, and every character that's in those buildings are just being shook up. Besides Mickey and Minnie, there's also a couple other characters. From what I can see, there's one that's inside of an ice cream shop. There's a barber shop, so I'm assuming that the ice cream gets all over somebody in one section, and for the barber shop, somebody's hair gets really tore up. The next scene is a very hustle and bustle style scene where you see plenty of traffic going through in the cross section of the lights. You also do see Donald Duck honking his horn at you, probably angry at the fact that you're in the way with Goofy's train. The next scene is Goofy saying goodbye to you as you guys are ending the ride on the train, and following that is a very special scene between Mickey and Minnie, and Pluto's off to the side too, where Mickey's actually serenading Minnie and they're having a nice little sweet song together. One thing I want to point out about that particular scene at the end is I love the way Pluto looks, because he's part animatronic, but also there's projections on him, which actually makes it look really, really cool because it's both of them together. Now, there are a couple Easter eggs that I found on that actual video that I want to bring to you guys here. The first one is actually a newspaper that reads Oswald Wins, and it's actually a great note to Oswald the Lucky Rabbit, who actually came out before Mickey, but it's nice to see that they acknowledge him in the actual ride. There are a couple logos you can find throughout the actual ride, which is iWorks as well as UWorks for the water treatment plant. What's great about that name is actually credit to the Disney legend UB iWorks, who actually drew Mickey Mouse for the first time. There is a flower shop with 1401 above it, which actually pays homage to the Walt Disney Imagineering headquarters, which is in Glendale, California. And lastly, there is a 1901, which is actually the birth year of Walt Disney, and previously mentioned the 1928, which is the year that Steamboat Willie came out. So hopefully this video gets you guys extra hype for this ride that's going to be coming out in a couple days. But I do want to know, out of the new footage that you guys saw, what is something that you're more excited for? Put it down in the comments below. Let me know. If there's something else that I might have missed that you guys caught, let me know down below as well. But guys, that is all the time we have for this video. So if you enjoy it, please make sure to give it a huge thumbs up. If you are new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button. If you haven't already, turn those notifications so whenever we upload a video or we go live, you get notified. If you haven't already, check out our Patreon. We always love the support that we get on there. Huge thank you to our friends right over here for supporting us on Patreon. Thank you guys so much. Finally, if you're not following us on social media, everything's under It's the Duo with 2 O's. From Casa del Duo, bringing you another video about the Mickeys and Minnie's Runaway Railway. We'll catch you guys later. Bye.